Googleunians, YouTubians, Redditors, anybody who happens to be watching me, good day, it's Gord. It is Saturday. Pasha's in the other room. No, I'm not doing any medication, but I'm talking about it. Uh, yeah, I'm still battling that migraine and whole bunch of fibro stuff that's just really odd, but I guess it's because I'm completely away from my pharmas. But you tuned in because of the title. More on the Allard case or the Allard decision. I'm not sure how the title will be yet, but there has been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk. I just want to help others understand the decision, what it means, and what it might mean or could mean. Because although there's some really strong positives here for us, the consumers, and for this society as a whole being taken as a right. We're running with this. Um, I'm going to present something from the Globe and Mail that shows that not everyone believes the way we do. So, the Allard decision basically came back to four people who took the government to court for a couple of reasons. They outed them under the under the rules of both programs, MMAR, MMPR, A or P. A, they grow. P is the most recent one that the government shut down. I'll talk about that. A is the older one. Those four people received letters, and so did many thousand other people from the government, which clearly it had return address of the marijuana program right on the labels, all against the law, outed them to the point that one person lost work, I believe, but also could not continue to store their product. And these are people who are dying or very sick, you know. Excuse me. So that's the background on it. They wanted better access. The government has heard the facts on both sides. There wasn't too many facts on the other side. The other side was full of fear. There is even a quote from the judge saying that there was one RCMP officer that the judge had to absolutely throw out his testimony because he was so obviously hating the product that his testimony was soured because of it. He had very little facts and a whole bunch of anger. And the judge had even said both sides were so typically adverse. There was the non-emotional, logical, physical, based on human rights side that was our side. Then the federal government that was full of bias, hatred, and stigma. So it's no wonder the decision came forward as it did. The government has 6 months. They basically took the program I'm on and tore it apart. Said, you have to redo it to be a little more like the previous program that allowed users to grow their own. The growing of our medicine is our right. This decided that. So I'm trying to stay focused on what I'm trying to tell you, but this fibromyalgia and no medicine makes it very difficult. So the government came up and said, you have 6 months to create a new program, either parallel or better, that includes our concerns over the MMPR, but the MMPR has to be destroyed because it's based wrong. It's based wrongly. They even mentioned that the government can't be telling people you can only buy from these producers. The government can't be deciding who can and cannot produce. we can't have a closed marketplace. And that is a really, really important thing. So as I was watching T-Town Tim, shout out, I'm going to do the hashtag on Sunday night. As I was watching him and he was explaining it, he was right. I just want to expand further. He said the people who could grow can still grow, and those who can't grow, like me, will be able to within 6 months. Now that is basically true. But what I understand is the injunction that is in place, that the government has in place to keep the MMAR people growing while a new program is created within 6 months to include us. These lawyers are taking that injunction to court as being not inclusive enough, and therefore further stepping on the rights that the government has already decided that we, the MMPRs, have equal to the others. If the government has already decided that we should be able to grow, then we shouldn't have to wait 6 months for if the courts have decided that our right to grow has been stepped on and we should grow. We should be able to grow legally. The fact that the government has 6 months to make that legal should not stop us from being able to exercise our right. So why should we have to wait for 6 months for the right? So they're going back to court to get that injunction worded differently so that it can encompass the MMPR program while we sit and wait for government action. We should be able to start growing within a couple of weeks, I think. And by the law, by the word of the law, one has to remember the word of the law is written down. The judge's decision has been already recorded that we, MMPR, can grow. He's just given the government 6 months to come up with regulations on how we can grow that do not step on our rights. So meanwhile, can we grow? That's going to be a gray area. I also will be attaching a different view. I don't know why I'm doing that. The Globe and Mail reported on this with the help of a lawyer who in Ontario, a lady lawyer who's supposed to be very into medical marijuana and an expert, but obviously not an expert, just an expert on law. Not an expert on marijuana because she is very much not in favor of this. She thinks that this is unfair to the licensed producers who have sat behind the government for years preparing for what soon will be a marketplace full of recreational users. These licensed producers have been backed by the government all the way along while stepping on our rights. So this lawyer says, oh, that isn't fair to these companies, negating the fact that these companies weren't fair to us and the rules protecting those companies weren't fair to us. Again, a lawyer siding on the side of corporate. The market has anticipated from day one that medical patients were not the ultimate destination. See, the market, that's what she's talking about. She's talking about the money. And that statement right there, the market has anticipated from day one that medical patients were not the ultimate destination. This is a woman who works closely with licensed producers. She knows they didn't care. That was their foot in the door looking after us medical people. Their aim was, always will be, and still is, those users that don't need the high quality medication, those users that don't have a medical need that'll be easier to sell to. So they've stepped on the medical to get to the rest, and the government has stepped in. The Allard decision represents a chance for legal recalibration. Sound regulation can protect important rights as well as offer foundation for business success. I think this is a huge step forward for business and for people. Just maybe not for the licensed producers that sat on their laurels waiting for the government to hold their hand through this. And I speak of Tweed. There are others like Tilray and Broken Coast, and some of them that have tried to work with local companies and local growers and try to make it a more encompassing thing. Those companies will thrive through this, I think. Okay, we're 10 minutes in. It's Saturday morning. I should be spending a little. My boy right now is writing a story. He's writing a book, and he's doing a real good job. Grade 2, writing a book. I love it. Illustrations, everything. He's written it in the form of a play. This person says this person says that. You know, it's quite interesting. So peace, love, and harmony. And yeah, sorry I'm not talking with you. Can't take any medicine. Cheers.